الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How should we, Muslims, speak to others, non-Muslims or Muslims, about Islam? I don't mean the content of our speech, I mean the style of our speech, the method, how we approach them. I'm sure that most of us have been through such a situation of having to speak to others about Islam. The best guidance we get from this should be from the behavior of our messenger, Muhammad, prayer and peace upon him, when he spoke to other people. When Muhammad, prayer and peace upon him, received the first ayahs of the Quran, he was terrified and he was frightened and shocked, and he took to bed. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to get up and rise and start speak to people, start to warn people. And he started to talk privately to his close friends and relatives, the people who was very close to, those he can trust. And a number of them believed. And then another command came, which was to speak to his close kin, to his close blood relatives. Now this is a larger circle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَانْزِرْ عَشِيرَتْكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ. He told Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, his cousin, who was living with him in the house as a very young man, to go and slaughter a sheep and prepare a big meal and invite a number of his relatives, which he did. While eating and after eating, they talked about Islam, and he talked to them and explained to them about Islam and what it is about and what it asks us to do and so on. When the Rasulullah started to go out of this circle and speak to people in general in Mecca, people who were visiting Mecca either in groups or people coming on Umrah or Hajj, he will approach people, a group or a single person, and ask them if they can speak to them. And if they want him to sit and speak to them, he would. If they don't, he will go away. If they don't want him to continue talking after he has started, he would leave them and go away. But he never shouted, never screamed in their faces. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to do. He said to call to Allah's way through wisdom and through nice and kind advice. ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. No force, no threats. And this has been the case throughout the ages. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded his prophets and messengers, Moses and Aaron, he told them the same. He told them to go to Pharaoh, and that Pharaoh was a really a tyrant. He claimed to be a god himself. He killed children. He was a really big tyrant. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them to go and speak to him kindly and softly. اذهب إلى فرعون فقول له قولا لينا. Because when you start to shout at people, they don't listen. When we start to be harsh with people, we put them off. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells his messengers, his people, to speak gently and kindly. And also because the job of the messengers and prophets is to deliver the message. Their job is not to make people believe, but to deliver the message they've been given clearly. وَمَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغِ الْمُبِينِ. The messenger's responsibility is the clear delivery of the message. And that's all. They can't even guide the ones they love and make them believe. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted everybody to believe, He would have done so. He could have made everybody and forced everybody into believing. But He gave us a choice. He wants us to see His message, and we have the choice of believing or not believing. There is no compulsion in this. And the best way actually for us to show Allah's message is through our behavior, through our character, through our dealing with people, through the Islamic way and principles and Islamic law. The way we talk to people is very important. And there was the case of Harun al-Rashid, who was the known Abbasi Khalifa, was one of the great Khalifas, and he was a good man. And he used to like scholars to advise him. And he sat with one of the biggest scholars of his time. And the scholar said, I'll advise you, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, but I'll be harsh and stern. And he told him, no, you don't, because Allah has commanded a better man than you, meaning Moses and Aaron, to speak to a worse man than me, meaning Pharaoh, softly and gently. So you don't speak to me harshly. So we should never speak to people harshly or threaten them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enlighten us with His guidance, and to give us the wisdom and the strength to live by it. Ameen.